So in this video, we'll be teaching you guys how to make a homemade galvanometer using a few materials that you can find in your house and materials that you find in your DIY kit that we sent you. So here we've got the materials that you'll likely be using. We've got alligator clips. We'll only be using 3. Bar magnet, sandpaper, pair of scissors, electrical tape. This is magnet wire. It's the reddish colored wire in your kit. Alternatively, you could use plastic insulated wire if you have that. Doesn't matter. You should have thread in your kit as well, AA battery, a needle. Inside your needle can be found in the index card that is provided with your kit. Some things that your kit doesn't have that you'll find useful. The important thing is a cardboard tube or a piece of a tube. Part of a toilet paper roll or paper towel roll works well. For stability, a small piece of cardboard. And depending on how you decide to strip your wire, having a lighter might be handy, it might be easier, but it's not necessary. And again, this is what the finished galvanometer looks like.
Alright, so the first step in making your galvanometer is first to get your magnet wire. This is the one I use, you can use the other one. And get your tube, and you're going to want to leave a little bit of excess of your magnet wire at the end of your tube, and then you want to wrap it around. Doesn't really matter how many times, but I did 6, worked pretty well. You're going to have increasing magnetic force and decreasing electric force as you increase the size of your coil, the amount of coils in your coil. And once you get these on your tube, you're going to want to tape them so that they stay together, or they stay on your tube. I tend to gather mine into the middle somewhat, but all shapes and sizes of galvanometers work. And then with a little bit of tape it down, and go around it, sort of gather it together, and yeah, and there you go. You've got your, right, like that. You've got your galvanometer with 2 ends. And now you want to take off the enamel on this magnet wire or the plastic on the other wire. You can just get this enamel off with sandpaper. So if you just grab an end and rub it up and down, it'll get it off, you'll see a change. Or otherwise, you can also burn it off. I've already burned some of it off, so I'll burn off some more. Yeah, you can see it smoking. And you'll see the wire change color. You're just doing this because the enamel is going to prevent you from completing a circuit with your alligator clips.
So the next thing you're going to want to do with your galvanometer is magnetize your needle. And so we're going to take a magnet and just rub one end of it, with 1/2 of the needle in the same direction. And you only have to do it a few times to get the needle to be magnetized. And you can test it with a compass to see if the needle moves the compass. And then the next thing we're going to do is tie this needle so that it's suspended right in the middle of our galvanometer. So if you know how, I suggest making a slip knot and just securing it around the center of your needle. And then just moving it around until you have the needle balanced. And then once your magnetized needle is balanced on your string, then we're gonna put it through a hole that I've made in the top of this, and just hang it and tape it so it's suspended in the middle. And so now I have a needle suspended in the center of our galvanometer.
Okay, so now that we have our magnetized needle in our galvanometer, I'm just gonna tape it to the bottom of this so that we can stabilize it. And I'm gonna use this. And I'm not sure if we mentioned this in the materials list, but we're also going to have this little micron wire, and that's just going to help us dampen the current or reduce the current so it doesn't overload the discharge from our battery or something like that. So first, I'm going to take one of my alligator clips, connect it to the end, one end of my wire, and then I'm going to clip the other end onto my micro wire, or whatever it's called. Nichrome. And then I'm going to take another alligator clip to the opposite end. Can you see it?
You're good.
Another one to the other end of my nichrome wire. And now these two ends are going to connect to my battery. And we should get a response. So one end touching the negative end and then the positive end, and nothing. Okay. I mean, that's all I had to show was the setup, right?
Yeah, we can.
Try moving the black alligator clip that's hooked to the coil closer to the end of the wire.
Yeah.
And maybe make sure that the other end is also on the strip. Okay, now let me.
All right, now that all of my wires are connected, I'm gonna now test it out and see if we get a reaction. There's a little one.
There's something. It's going what, counterclockwise?
Yeah. Then I could show you just switching ends.
We wait for it to come to a rest. And also the magnet. Keep that away from the needle. Yeah, that's definitely going clockwise.